Glenorchy.
Good evening and welcome to KG5 for a little bit of Friday night NPL Tasmania action. Glenorchy Knights taking on the Kingborough Lions here at KG5. Lovely balmy evening here for football. Looking forward to a good contest between two teams looking to bounce back after the last results. The Lions have had a little bit of a layoff since they were defeated by the Hobart Zebras in their last game. Glenorchy Knights just 7 days ago at this very venue succumbing to South Hobart. So both teams looking to get back on track with a win tonight. Both have shown themselves to be capable of doing just that, and I think this is going to be a really tough, close-fought affair this evening. The Knights certainly up against it with a number of injuries, although you can see leading the team out there, Tyler Harrison has recovered in time to play, which is big, and we'll get to those starting lineups very shortly. But beforehand, a very good evening to my co-commentator for the evening, Paul Hunt.
Good evening. Pleasure to be here as always on a, again, balmy Friday night in Glenorchy, 2 in a row. I think that's a record here for this area, particularly when there's a match on, as we have a look at the sides exchanging pleasantries. As you mentioned, it's been a while since Kingborough have played. Hopefully they've had the opportunity to iron out any cracks or jinx in their armour, whereas Knights here last Friday night. We'll be curious to see who they lay up as centre-back here tonight. I haven't had a chance to run my eye over how they'll line up with the suspension last week, and it's left them a little thin, but we do have some promising players return, including some slice of cheese favourites, which we are all about here.
Yeah, we'll get on to the team lineups in just a moment, with the Knights huddling up there, those purple socks of theirs ready to go. We'll line up for you in a second. Should be pretty tense affair this evening. Both teams really after the points. Both teams have probably fallen to the teams in the mix for the title, the top four, if you will, and have been pretty good in results against the teams below them on the table. Knights will be certainly, I think, expecting to be beating Kingborough. This is a Kingborough side who've shown they're quite tough to break down. They've looked pretty solid in the outings we've seen from them, and certainly with those injuries tonight, so you just feel they might be a little bit vulnerable this evening as the captain, Danny Cowan, heads out to the middle. He has produced some magic in a night game at KG5, and not too distant pass, scoring from just about halfway with a tackle goal. Will he have anything like that tonight, I wonder, as they do get confirmation of that Knights lineup and the returning Matthias Toghill to the lineup. And the big question, does that mean a return of Sean Toghill? Haven't heard him yet, which, look, he's been very tight in the Zebras camp the last couple of years. Might be tough to win him back, and look, the Knights will be glad to have Matthias out there, but the Zebras with Sean in their pocket at the moment, perhaps slightly winning that deal. We'll have to see, but the rest of that Glenorchy Knights line-up, Alessandro Bellini, Declan Brown, their real star in attack. You've got Hardwick, Harrison, Heggie James, Nathan Nesta, who was spectacular in goals last week. Nuki leading the line. Warren-up will be the left-back. Clay Hart, Kadesh Amani Stewart is the speed read of that Knights team. Flipping on to the Kingborough Lions. Their opponents for this evening, Jacob Brennan, Danny Cowan at centre-half, Nick Cuthbertson, Keenan Dowse has been in some pretty good form. Chris Downs will play in midfield with Horatio Gutierrez Jr., Dominic Easton in there. Joel Samet, the new arrival from Olympia. Expect to see him lining up at left-back, looking for a permanent spot. Cameron Steele, the other name of note in that starting lineup. First look at him, you'll see him in the centre of midfield. The American, 23 years old, making his NPL Tasmania debut, I think, Cameron Steele. So we'll see what the American brings to it, and he'll join Gutierrez Jr. and Downs in what's a pretty promising midfield brigade there for the Lions, Paul.
Certainly good on paper. We'll have to see what Steele is like in person. Haven't had the time to do the deep dive of obscure American college websites prior to his arrival, so we'll see how he plays here tonight.
South Carolina, I think, recently.
Is that where I would have had to go to? I'm used to heading more Tennessee or various other locations around America to
North Carolina, in fact.
Oh, you get those two mixed up.
That's dangerous.
Apologies to our American audience. Huge that it is. Seeing a long pass back there from the Lions. Back forward. Looking to play through Brown, as always, the Knights. This Kingborough side constantly evolving. Had absolutely no idea till you just said it that Joel Samet had transferred over, making me wonder if Olympia have any left backs left. But anyway, it's a heavy touch there. Nowicki nearly got involved on the impressive Keenan Dowse on the far side.
Yeah, handy pick-up for the Lions. Joel Samet has been in and out of that Warriors team for the last couple of years now, just not quite been able to nail down a starting berth, so he makes the move in search of regular first-team football. Looks like Hardwick is sliding in alongside Harrison at the back for Knights, with Warrener and Toghill either side of that defensive pairing. The Knights looking to make something happen here through James, gives Naden a bit of chasing to do. Samet leading him, and it looks like Chris Downs might just be lining up on the left wing, maybe just cutting in onto that sweet right foot of his, looking to hit a few from distance this evening. We'll see, but with Steele coming into the midfield, I suppose someone had to make way, and it's like he's just going to slot into an attacking role. And Downs, key man in attack for his team, especially with his set-piece delivery. Naden heads it away from him here, though. Should be tracked back by Smithy Sharples. And they're not afraid of getting a former Warriors youngster, the Kingborough Lions, are they?
No, they usually get a couple across. Just trying to think of their head. The other one is busy on the Knights team sheet at the moment. Smithy Sharples, who was on the bench.
Stalker as well.
For the FFA Cup game here a couple of years ago.
Nick Zammit, had a few who've made the switch. Search of regular first-team football.
Jacob Brennan making the move from South Hobart as well in search of some regular first-team action. It's only really the consistencies in their team. You've got even Cuthbertson's coming back. You've got Cowan and Joel Scott.
Yeah, fair turnover from last year. I suppose looking at the list, Tom McDonald, another one, returning. But yeah, there's been a fair turnover, though. Some fairly familiar faces in terms of having played for the club before, as Matthew Nowicki now charging with a head full of steam. Stopped by Smithy Sharples. Rounds past, cut off, and we get our first look at Cameron Steele. He knocks this one to Samet. Samet gives Danny Cowan something to chase, nodded away from him. Stooping header from Toghill, and the return pass not Cowan there. So Toghill, who's certainly grown an impressive beard in his absence from the NPL Tasmania. A real hard man, former Zebras stalwart. Clarence United before that, and making his NPL return after a period abroad over in the UK.
It's amazing you go to the UK and end up with a more hipster beard.
I wouldn't have thought so.
Maybe it's just for warmth over there. He's had to rock that for a while.
So a chance to perhaps put the laces through it. Dowse thought better of it. Rolls the pass in. That'll be broken up, and Hardwick blasts it away. Stalker out the back. Got Cuthbertson and Smithy Sharples, the defensive pairing, in front of him tonight. Here is Noah Smithy Sharples. Immediately punched back to the keeper there by Samet. The Lions making full use of the width of the pitch here as they look to build. Cool ball for Cowan, broken up by Hardwick. The Lions quickly regain possession though. One's out the back to Cuthbertson, the big stalk. Finds Gutierrez Jr. Couldn't quite spring Cowan in behind. Knights looking to get out here now through Heggie. Onto the head of Nowicki. His flick on should be dealt with by Samet. He retreats back to Stalker.
Interesting that Kingborough playing, at least in the first 5 minutes, in a similar way to South Hobart and the Warriors have done at KG5 as well. I've known Rick Howard's been here scouting both of those games. He's often sat in front of us up here in the grandstand. It seems he's liked what the opposition's done on that week and really looking to hold the ball and keep possession a bit more than I've seen Kingborough do lately. And he's clearly seen something he likes in being able to break down this Knights defence. Constantly changing back four as well. With Warrener coming back in last week. Hardwick coming off the bench, and obviously Togsy coming back. And he must have seen something he liked, Calvert, because they really are looking to play through the centre. Let's see out wide. Looking for Steele. Breaks down again, and Smithy Sharples lays that one out to Keenan Dowse. Gets clipped, but likes to play on, then heavy touch. Right in front. Oh, nearly plays in. The winger. Now out. Jakey. No, it's not Jakey Stewart. Eventually turns over. Now Smithy Sharples, who I think's had the ball the most so far in the first 6 minutes. Yep. It's Cuthbertson. Trying to get away from a physical challenge from Nowicki. Now Knights will look to really get their foot on the ball for the first time here tonight. Harrison bereft of options, so he launches that one down the line. Zammit gets up initially. Smithy Sharples in front of Brown. Coming across is the Magic Man Bellini. Steele ended up with possession, but they'll win the free kick. Will the Lions?
Fairly cagey opening to this one so far. As you've highlighted, a rather patient approach from the Lions. Quite content to stroke the ball around at the back from side to side and pick their moment. Here's Cuthbertson. Skipped inside nicely there. Gutierrez. Cowan gets the better of one defender. Couldn't get the better of Harrison though. Here's the Magic Man, Alessandro Bellini. And just a little bit too much contact there. Our referee this evening, Nathan Code, in the middle of the young man. Bellini looking to try and spark something here as he has a little run for the first time this evening. Nowicki showed good strength but flicked it straight to Smithy Sharples, who gave it right back to him though. Bellini couldn't quite dissect the defence there. Poor straight to Nick Naden. Naden looked to spring it in behind for Declan Brown. Gutierrez Jr. to himself. Heads it straight to Luke Warrener. Now Heggie coming across to this one. Here's Nick Naden. Forced wide by Downs. Downs sliding in. Couldn't quite win the ball back. Declan Brown comes away with it and he smashes it across the face to Heggie. Heggie cushions it looking for Nowicki, who's offside. And this one will come back as the big fella looking to make an impact. Will we see a similar challenge to the one he launched in the first 10 minutes of last week, I wonder?
I was thinking the plays over, the keeper's out of the box. Might just be time for a Nowicki special just to get his team livened up again. It does seem like that's what's necessary here for the Knights. A little slow out of the blocks to start with, but James picks it up in the centre circle. Looks to find Bellini. It's really been one of the constants in the Knights team throughout the first 6 matches of the season. Finds Brown. James Brown beaten out to it by Steele. Brennan nearly gets there. Dodgy ball back to Stalker, who has to take a touch. Does well, the young keeper. Danny Cohen's moved out to the wing temporarily. Now Brennan. Looks to jink inside. As Jacob Brennan has 4 Knights players around him in the end. Eventually cleared by the Knights' defence. Kingborough moving forward with pace. From the keeper up to the winger. It's a throw in, Eve down the line from Dowse in the Cohen direction. Cohen volleying it back to the D, but there's only Knights players around now. In front is Steele. Steele knocks it out to Zamino. Hits it first time to the back post in the Cohen direction, rising high. Here's Luke Warrener. Oh, foul. The judge to have been called. I'll be honest, I was following the ball there. Didn't quite see that one.
It's going to give Chris Downs an opportunity. So we have a look on the replay here, and yeah, just grabbing the arm a little bit there was Heggie. And called for the foul, so will Chrissy Downs go to work here? He's got Steele hovering with him, but he'd have to be a very, very good set-piece taker to displace Downs from this duty. I mean, the best in the competition is the Kingborough Lions number 10. And he conjures something here. Downs punching one in, and Cuthbertson with a thumping header just over the top. A great attack on the ball from the big stalk, and he wasn't too far away from opening the scoring with the first chance of the evening.
He's trying to bend his body around his opposing player there. Did the stalk, Nick Cuthbertson. It was Nick Naden on him, and there is a bit of a height difference between those two. So depending on how they continue to match up from these set pieces, that might be a promising outlet for the Lions here this evening, as Harrison heaves that one forward over the head of Smithy Sharples, but Cuthbertson manages to get in front. Now Zammit. Inside to Downs. Gutierrez beaten out to it. Interesting to see how Steele plays. Gutierrez has been the predominant box-to-box or slightly more holding midfielder for the Lions so far this season. We'll see if Steele's a bit more interested in bombing on, as Downs can't quite get to it, and Togsy does what he does best and thumps it clear.
Very solid stop our old-fashioned fullback, Matthias Stoghill. Defence first. He's very efficient at doing that. He tries to win the header up against Danny Cowan here. Downs volleyed it back into dispute. Keenan Dowse got there first, though. Dowse combining with Gutierrez Jr. Sliding one through. The cross shut down by James, and that's a penalty, surely. And Nathan Code points straight to the spot, and the Lions will have the opportunity to draw first blood here.
Stonewall, I think, is what we'll call that one. Just takes a touch inside and just about takes his face off.
Yeah, Heggie has just got nowhere near that one. It was Jacob Brennan who won the spot kick, and Downs and Cowan both capable. You'd have to think the Lions skipper will be favoured to take it, and he's going to arrive on the scene now. Pretty good record from the spot, Danny Cowan.
Very, very good penalty taker, always has been, as the Lions captain. Heggie just doing his best. Must be upset that he hasn't got on giving the sword 2019 montage with that effort.
You've got to make some contact if you want to make that montage. He's not really made enough. Anyway, Danny Cowan steps up, sends the keeper the wrong way, drives it home, and the Kingborough Lions take the lead. An error at the back, giving Danny Cowan a chance to open things up, and the skipper makes no mistake.
Always hits his penalties with power, does Danny Cowan. He's not one for the finesse, and again, just belts that one down the middle and gives Lions a well-deserved 1-0 lead here tonight. I've been impressed with the way they've played out from the back, and very confidently so far, as Cowan just with the 4 steps put the laces through it. Sometimes you don't have to overthink it, a la Paul Pogba, and just hit it.
Yeah, just blasted it straight down the hay diddle diddle. Danny Cowan. Timmy Nesta guessed, and the moment he guessed one way, that was it. But the Lions, yeah, reward for a good start. There's not been a whole lot created just yet, but slightly shaded the opening exchanges.
Yeah, I certainly think they've just come out with a little more purpose, and Knights appear to be operating quite defensively and just can't really get their foot on it, as James tried to, but then has immediately got it stolen away by Gutierrez. Cowan tries to get in behind Lockie Hardwick, but that's cleared away. Cuthbertson eventually whacked out by Dominic Easton. Thrown in down the line. In the Heggie direction, gets it on towards Nowicki. Can he keep it in? He does. Waiting for support to arrive. Manages to put in a pretty good ball to the near post. I don't think his teammates were expecting it. I certainly didn't think he was going to get it to that position from that angle.
Certainly not.
This Lions have to play out Smithy Sharples, who's been pretty much a stalwart of Olympia's Challenge League team the last couple of years, coming over to the Lions. Steele, Downs. Now, Cuthbertson not looking to play any rash balls, the Lions. Electing to be a bit more patient. Obviously, these sides next to each other on the NPL table at the moment. So it's a lovely turn there from Steele. He's looking for a willing runner and finds one in Zammit.
Looking like he's going to add a bit to this Lions midfield is Steele, early doors. Gutierrez, 2 imports in there, and young Dominic Easton. Looking like a good combination as Keenan Dowse is charging out after this one. Warriner leads him to the ball and just puts it into touch. Frustrating early going here for the Glenorchy Knights. Just really been able to get a foot on the ball and keep a hold of things too much.
It's just so different to their last couple of games where on paper they've played stronger opposition. They've really taken it to them in the first half, and then it's died off as Gutierrez nearly shaped to shoot but eventually cleared. And they've really come at Olympia and South Hobart, and they just haven't here so far. But here's an opportunity with the pace of Brown. He's in, he's got Stalker to beat. Brown rounds the keeper. Brown slides it home on a blistering counter-attack for the Glenorchy Knights, and it's 1-1 very quickly.
Credit to Matthew Nowicki, the big bull doing what the centre forward is supposed to do. He gets the ball, holds it up, lays it into the path of Declan Brown, and once it was a foot race, he was always going to win it. The Knight star, he nets to level things at 1-1 here in the 18th minute. Composed finish as he just skipped around the keeper and stroked it home. And look at the finish. Going to look at the build-up slightly later on, but Nowicki was fantastic with his attack on that one. Presented nicely. And really just a little slip there at the back, and the Knights make them pay.
Great hold-up play from the target man, Nowicki. And it's surely a foul. Committed by Heggie, running back. And as I was going to say, Nowicki does play that target man role very well. Just knows how to use his body and strength as well. Not the tallest player going around, but can really play in the likes of Naden and Brown well as Solgill clears that one. Samet goes to the 1-2 with Downs, but again, Togsy reads that one, and I think in, as we thought in pre-game, I think there is a Sean variety here. It's been 18 minutes and a goal, and they've heard nothing.
Well, we'd certainly know if he was here, wouldn't he? He's the best fan of the NPL Tasmania as this one's worked in to the middle of the box. Staying away there, Keenan Dowse. Charged down well. And perhaps Heggie can make some waves down the left here. Just sets it up over the top. The wrong option in the end here. Declan Brown, a fair bit of room in the middle of the park. Couldn't quite find him. Joel Samet immediately volleys it back to Stalker. Smith and Sharples to Easton. Straining to reach that one was Downs, and Tokyo just blasted out of there. Probably had a little bit more time than he realised.
Tyler Harrison next to him, just giving him the official worldwide symbol for just calm it down a tad.
Just settle it down.
It's, on Downs, I cannot figure out in the first 20 minutes what position he's playing. He seems to start at left wing and then kind of run back towards the ball. It's almost like a number 10 coming back to receiving it, but from receiving it from left wing.
Yeah, I think he's starting on the left. I think he's just natural instincts to get inside a bit more centrally. That's where he's played most of his football. But I think that the love for the idea, I suspect, is just to get him in the final third with a bit of room to operate in from out wide, swinging in those crosses, shooting from range, and cutting in onto that right foot could be dangerous. Haven't seen it any openings for him just yet. Matthias Tolgi is not likely to give him a lot of room, but something to keep an eye on. Nick Naden Did well there. Works it out to Toghill. Toghill combining with Bellini. Just about tracked it down, but couldn't quite keep it in play in the end. So 20 minutes ticked by here at KG5. 1-1 the score. Penalty converted by Danny Cohen, cancelled out by Declan Brown just moments after. The game sprung to life. Bit of a falcon there as it skews out for a Samet throw-in. The new line. Headed back inside by Toghill. James comes through and volleys it out of play.
Not the best falcon we'll see in world football today after the one Tamika Butt copped at the very end of the Matildas one. That was probably going to go down as the best one of the year, I think. Despite the fact we see some pretty good ones here in the NPL TAS. And Stork knocks it forward. Dowse, good flick there from Gutierrez. Getting Dowse inside to Brennan. Bellini gets a toe in. So does Brown. Brown and Bellini combine to get it out of there. Warner just whacks it into the leg of Jacob Brennan. Again, Knights will have the throw in on the far side. The Ricky Warner to take. Down the line towards Heggie. Now Nowicki. That's surely a foul by Cuthbertson. I think he saw the danger there, Cuthbertson, and maybe just went in a little harder than he normally would have as Nowicki had turned and had plenty of time and space to run into there.
Yeah, just turned nicely, did Nowicki. Using his body well early in this game. He's the big centre forward. Bellini combining with Declan Brown. Picking up a bit of steam, just dispossessed. Warner now trying to get involved in the attack, the fullback. His opposite number, Keenan Dowse, tracking him tightly. Jake Brennan also there. Somehow it stays in and he manufactures a cross, doesn't come to anything. Steered away from there by Dominic Easton. Crisp pass from the match manager, that is, that one's tucked in shortly by James and back out again. Kind of gave up trying to pick it up and just went, just knock a beautiful little ball.
Who needs hands in this sport, hey? As Bellini tries to turn once again. Manages to win the foul off Easton. Brown immediately interested in taking this free kick, but will now leave it. And then receive it again short. Puts that behind Toghill. He'll come back to collect. Naden wants it down the line and went the left foot scoop inside towards Heggie. Brown. Nice link-up play from the Knights, but I'll tell you what, Lions, if they can just get past Samuel James, they'd have a chance, but he does well. The Knights' defensive mid, now it's Nowicki coming in on goal. Smithy Sharples with a crucial challenge, and in the end, it's come off a Knights player for a goal kick. But good play in the centre of the park there between Bellini and Brown.
So they're starting to click into gear a little here, the Knights. Trying to get a few of those 1-2 passing combinations going in around the box. One touch passing, but the Lions defence holding firm there, but the first time in the game they've really been put under any sustained pressure as Stalker moves that one a little short for Smithy Sharples, who immediately returns it. Some room here for Gutierrez Jr., who's dropped very deep. His compatriot Steele. Now Samet. Chris Downs, can he get involved here? He sets one out in front of Samet, just a bit too far ahead of the youngster though. Hasn't quite got those wheels, hauling those ones down just yet. See the bit of wind about, the corner flag there. Toghill. Off the head of Downs. Into the feet of Steele. He gave it to Brennan. Now Gutierrez Jr. His touch just went straight into the path of Samuel James. Now Warner. Advantage paid here. Luke Warner storming forwards. The fullback. Then just sold Heggie short. Heggie did really well though. Went back and won it. Now swings in the cross looking for Nowicki. Smithy Sharples away. Down by CSI Miami there. Steele. And Smithy Sharples gets himself into all sorts of trouble, and Matthew Nowicki doesn't punish him. He pulls it past the post. He surely had to score there, the big centre forward. And a glorious opportunity goes begging. And Noah Smithy Sharples is going to be a very relieved man right now.
Exceptionally relieved. I actually just can't believe Nowicki's missed that. The goal was gaping and wide open at the back post, and that's where he was aiming. It was good pressure he put on the centre back, who lost the ball, and to be fair, well, they'd given up the ghost and was sure that was going to be 2-1 Knights, but Nowicki hits it wide. Must have been watching the Colonel Sanders highlights compilation from last weekend. It was a risky ball played out. Finds Toghill. Lovely ball down the line in the Brown direction, who jinks inside beautifully. It's Brown, gets on the right peg, hits it too far, and Stalker comes out and makes the save. Slightly unorthodox. Again, Knights are starting to turn the screw here.
It was a lovely run. Just thought you needed to cut back inside onto the left there rather than go back outside there, Declan Brown. But his running and dribbling ability is starting to come to the fore here a little. And this one just starting to open up, and that'll open things up further. A really loose pass. Naden over the top. Can't pick out the run of Nowicki. Smithy Sharples, who's had 30 seconds, I think he'd rather like to forget. Hasn't cost a goal, so I'll hope pick up. He'd started pretty brightly, but just a couple of errors there in the last moment, but no harm done ultimately. Here's the big stalk, Nick Cuthbertson. In for Dominic Easton. Turned it for Cuthbertson, who now punches it in the downs direction. Cameron Steele. Wide for Samet. Joel Samet broken up, but Samet continued his run forwards. Bellini rolls the foot over it. Harrison. Naden. Now Toghill. Warren dropped it back there. Good run this from Lockie Hardwick. Tried a little bit too much in the end, showed a bit too much of it. Nestor away. Long ball up the middle. I thought Douse just got tunnelled onto that one. Play allowed to continue, however. Gutierrez Jr. out for Downs. Toes it for Steele. Tried to flick it back first time. Declan Brown is clipped by Gutierrez Jr. and that'll be the first slice of cheese for the evening. Going the way of the American.
It's a bit late there. Was Horatio Gutierrez Jr. Probably his first foul of the game though, so possibly a slightly harshish cheddar. Maybe just a talking to would have done. Been no real malice in the challenge or the match so far.
Yeah, I think Declan Brown jumping out of the way made it look worse than it really was. Probably just a free kick for mine, but has to walk the tightrope now, doesn't he? As the offside flag is raised.
And we'll be seen eventually. There we go. Good spotting there from the linesman. It's now the recently cheesed Gutierrez Jr. And he whacked forward towards Cohen, whose name I haven't had to call in quite some time. And a little quiet up that end of the park. Easton collects it again. Going to play out through Brennan, and there we see Gutierrez not wanting to commit the foul. Naden nearly gets inside. And Easton goes back to the keeper. As we see, good to see the match manager aware of keeping the sponsors happy. The signage falling down there on the far side. And that ball's going to be intercepted easily by Heggie. Gets to Naden. Naden's been crowded out by white shirts here at the moment. Lovely turn there from Steele. Gives the roller coaster on Bellini, and now Bellini hits the step over.
Would have seen that as a personal challenge, someone pulling that right in front of him, wouldn't he?
Did notice it was 0.5 seconds between that happening and the double step over.
Sandro Bellini, the magic man. Can't be trying to one-up him out there on a football pitch.
I think Steele's done his homework there. Trying to set him a tricks challenge out in the field. The Lions win the free kick.
You mentioned Cohen before, you're right, he's been pretty much unsighted outside of the goal, and I think that's been to do with the patient build-up approach we're seeing from the Lions. They're just not getting the ball into his feet. They're turning it over before they end up working it up there. It's been a little bit laborious at times. Don't mind the moving the ball around the pitch, trying to draw the opposition out, but at the end of the day, hasn't quite clicked in the final third, and Danny Cohen's not been getting on the end of much. Can they find him here? They'll swing it down the right for the charging Keenan Dowse. He chips into the box into his own path. Still going Keenan Dowse. The Knights arrive en masse here, and Luke Warrener opts for safety first and just nods behind for the corner. Dowse just unable to find that man Cohen in the middle.
Lung-busting run down the wing from Keenan Dowse, drawing plenty of Knights' attention. I just think I'm so used to seeing a bit more direct style, just with Cohen being involved every 5 seconds. Just not quite used to this. We will see Steele take a free kick. A corner kick, I should say.
He swings it in on the left. Pretty good looking delivery too. Cuthbertson again winning in the air, and again just wide of the mark. But looming large over this contest from the set piece is the big stalk Nick Cuthbertson again. It was Naden going with him and couldn't stick with him. I think they might get plenty of joy this evening out of the set piece approach and just sticking it on the big stalk's head.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Coach James Sherman changes that once he can get the message out there, because that's 2 out of 2. We saw here on the weekend as Nowicki gets in front and now does the exact same move on Cuthbertson he did to Smithy Sharples. Plays in Naden, who hits it towards the back post. And Keenan Dowse is going to try and take it out. Steele. Back to the Lions right back, as that looks like a substitution being prepared by the Knights. So that one's gone to the far side. It's Jacob Brennan. Tries to head it to himself. Not able to do so, and Hardwick clears away.
So the experience of Jade Clay is going to be called upon here. We'll see if it's tactical or injury related. You have to think tactical, given the surprise on Rowan Heggy's face, but the winger has been pulled here for Samuel James, so maybe a bit of a formational shift coming, but it's going to be Rowan Heggy replaced by Jade Clay.
He looked stunned when his name was called out there. Did DJ Heggy?
No player likes to be subbed in the first half of a game, but James Sherman clearly not happy with the way things are going and has hooked him.
Yeah, very interesting. Jay Clay nominally a fullback, so we'll see what position he slides into. And straight into the change room from DJ Heggy. To be fair, when you're subbed in the half-hour mark, it's probably to be expected.
So we'll see if things shift about or whether he's just going to occupy that left wing role. Anyway, it's Steele for the Lions here. Cameron Steele knocks it back. Crossed in away by Hardwick. Laid back into the path of Declan Brown. Nick Naden trying to pounce on a slightly loose touch from Easton, who then just grabs his arm. And that'll be a free kick. Brown wants to take it quickly, and he does so. Swings it wide to the new man, Jade Clay. Couple of early touches here for the substitute, but away from him it goes by Steele to Easton. Now Jacob Brennan. Plenty of Knights in this small section of the pitch, and that was sloppy from Easton.
Could have done better there, the young defensive midfielder. Seeing the throwing taken again in the Nowicki direction, running on. And hitting with the first time volley. It's going to fall to Naden. First time, Stalker with a save. And again, Naden ends up with it. Naden cleared by Samet. And we'll see Doggy will just fire it into the leg of Steele. Now Bellini. Back to Naden. Looks towards the back post. Clay gets a head onto it. It's going to fall behind Nowicki. Cuthbertson doesn't get a lot of purchase on it. Downs will eventually clear to Samet, but dangerous times again at the back for the Lions.
Downs lets it run cleverly, although Toghill was going to lead him back to the ball. Steele What a great save it ended up being from Stalker. Big chance for the Knights for Naden, and they might have invited a bit of danger again here as Stalker just gets in before Nowicki. Nick Naden now jumping on it, wants to turn onto the left and stepping in and winning it, but Jade Clay coming on the pitch and nearly paving the assist 30 seconds later with that cross in. In the end, Naden unable to find a way past Stalker.
It's a great ball from Jade Clay. First time volleyed cross. That one goes into the feet of Nowicki. Gets around his man, hooks it into the near post. But Stalker comes up well. I mean, full credit to Stalker for making the save, but when you're so close to goal from Naden and it falls to you like that, you've really got to be putting that in the back of the net. And it's 2 chances they've had since scoring for the Knights that are not half chances. They are absolute 100% chances, and you want to hope that doesn't come back to bite him in the end as Cohen rises against Harrison. A bit too much pepper on that one from the captain. Puts Hardwick under some pressure. Eventually it falls out to Naden, who's got Samet for company. Naden just runs straight at him. Eventually it's Easton to clear. Not a lot of trickery involved there from Nick Naden.
Running in a straight line. It's my type of skill level right there.
The old toey to yourself at primary school days.
This one's taken short to the Magic Man. Back for Toghill. Naden. Bellini. And Easton just taking a little bit of the Magic Man there. Free kick in a promising position here. The Knights working their way on top of this one. They should be ahead in the game. They've squandered a couple of really good chances and they're starting to knock out the door here. Trailing leg just caught there. Samuel James over the dead ball. Stalker just getting the wall set up there, just the 2 in. 2 men hovering over it, James and Bellini. Bellini going to let it run for James. Poor delivery in the end. Straight to Danny Cowan. Whacked away by Joel Samet. Gutierrez against Clay. Clay arriving first, coughed it straight up though. Steal now, Gutierrez. I think Cowan's offside here, the big fella, he is. He's arguing the point, but I think he was well aware of it because he was hardly surprised when the flag went up.
I've seen him run harder at the ball as well. Danny Cowan, I think he did know deep down that was offside. Again, it falls to Naden. It's been their main outlet the last 5 minutes. Good ball into the box. Cuthbertson gets it away. And the Magic Man fires it into the chest of Steele. He can't quite keep it in. Just noticed at that free kick, Stalker didn't have any real eyes on the actual delivery of the ball. He was very much waiting at the back post, and maybe a cheeky attempt on goal there wouldn't have been a bad option.
Maybe a little Messi Panenka type action.
Yeah.
See that one? What can that man do?
Oh, it's ridiculous. Absolutely insane. So, no way to really defend that as that's left short. And Danny Cowan running in on goal. He's got Brennan for company. It's Cowan against Harrison. Tries to get on the right peg and then just runs into the elbow of Toghill, but we'll have another look at that. Bellini tries to play in Nowicki and does over the head of the stalk. It's Matt Nowicki on goal. Nowicki slides it under the keeper. And from one end to the other again, the Knights have got 2-1 up.
Yeah, just misjudged a bit there, I think, in the air by the big stalk. Cuthbertson, Nowicki gets the better of him, and once he got goal side of him, he's an athlete, this man. He just bore down on goal, and he wasn't going to make the mistake on this occasion. And he buries it in the back of the net. Matt Nowicki grabbing the second of the evening for the Glenorchy Knights. And it was a pretty composed finish. Long ball over the top. Cuthbertson out of the picture at this point. Stalker covering the angle, but beaten there. And you can't give too many chances to this fella. He's had quite the impact on the game so far. So set up their opening goal, and now he's put them ahead. It was a bad miss in between, but on the whole, a quality first half from Matthew Nowicki.
Yeah, and I don't think many people will remember that miss, how he's put them in front. It was Cowan. who appealed for a penalty about 10 seconds before that goal went in.
Sliding doors moment right there.
As Smithy Sharples clears that one. Centre-backs have temporarily changed positions. Someone's heaved into the night sky. And Stalkers' defence, both the goals have just been sort of gilt-edged one-on-one chances, and you really shouldn't be putting your keeper in that sort of position, as it's a lovely ball played from Gutierrez. Clay can't quite keep it in, taken quickly. Lions, who for the first 25 minutes, a real sense of purpose about their play. It's 15 have gone wandering a little more. Let's see what Samet can do down on the left wing. Naden comes across. Easton. Gutierrez plays the 1-2 with Douse. Does get on the end of the return ball and wins his team another corner. On half of the American central midfield pairing. And it does seem, we'll have another look at this penalty shout from Cowan. Running in on goal. Slips over his foot. His left foot's gone from underneath him to start with, but I'm not sure why Toghill's arm's in that position.
Wanting a little bit of danger, but anyway, Steele to take the corner. Good looking ball. Cuthbertson again in the air. He is dominating from these corners. The big stalk. He wins his third of the evening. This time it is on target, but didn't quite have the conviction in the previous two. There were two Knights defenders. Probably did just enough to put him off, but they're looking threatening from the corners. And Danny Cowan with a little back heel. Couldn't quite reach Gutierrez Jr. Nick Naden now. Just kind of drifting inside. Rolls it back for Hardwick. Didn't see anything out the opposite flank, so pings it in to Dimmy Nestor. So outstanding this time last week against South Hobart. The brilliant goalkeeping performance from him. Now Steele trying to make something happen, but ran straight into a steely character into Matthias Toghill. And he charged into Samet. Worked it to Bellini. Naden back to Harrison under duress there from Danny Cowan. Toghill. Naden. Now Hardwick. The Lions pressing, but the Knights have worked their way through here nicely. Luke Warrener charging forwards. Heavy touch from Brown. Couldn't quite control it. Dominic Easton allowed in. They'll build from the back here through Joel Samet. Look up. See a heap of movement, so just tucks it inside to Easton. They've coughed it up here. Matt Nowicki just coughed it up, although they might win the ball back here and they'll win a free kick in the end. So real sloppy play here from both sides there.
Surprised Gutierrez went in for the slide tackle at all, given he's on a slice of cheese. It's just that top leg coming around and more of a kick action alerted the referee.
James has been taking most of set pieces, but I just fancy the magic man to just conjure something here. And give him the opportunity. This is one in a very good position for a shot. Who's it going to be? It will be Bellini, just past the post. Plenty of whip on it, but not quite the direction he was after.
You called it calling. I think that's exactly what we were hoping for up here in the commentary box. Got it up over the wall, but just a bit too much height on it. And a great amount of whip on it. And we'll see Stalker restart the play after a very expedient collection of the ball over on the far side. Very well done from those braving the elements here tonight in Glenorchy. It was Smithy Sharples. Knocks it to Brennan, who pretty much sells his defender short there. And now Nowicki has Naden on one side, around on the middle, and just whacks it to no one in particular. In the end, does the striker. It was the Stalk again. They keep doing that same move to the Lions. Nowicki has come in and done the most back new Nowicki challenge you will ever see. For 2 weeks in a row, picks himself up a slice of cheese for decapitating a left back.
Yeah, it doesn't hold back, Big Nowicki. He's rather flown in here at Samet an eternity late and just battered him, making his presence felt. But look, that is what you get with Nowicki. He makes things happen. Goal, assist, cheese. Call that a Matthew Nowicki hat-trick. As this one is worked forward here for Danny Cowan. Cowan laid it off for Jake Brennan. Couldn't get past Samuel James. Cowan charging forwards again. So make something happen. Just starting to look to run at the defence a bit here. Cowan perhaps having not received a whole lot of supply in this first half. He's trying to take it upon himself to force the issue laid on in the piece.
I think he's gradually growing tired of just staying on the last defender, which he pretty much has done diligently all evening. And we've got the first one down in the creek for the evening. We'll see a little more added stoppage time as we get to have another look at one of the more deserved slices of cheese. You will see.
Run straight through him. Yeah, look, in ice hockey, they've got the Gordie Howe hat-trick, which I think is a goal, an assist and a fight. So I reckon a goal, an assist and a totally reckless and unnecessary cheese is a Matt Nowicki hat-trick.
Absolutely. Get that one signed into the NPL TAS glossary. It was Naden. Lovely flick there from Brown. Naden now goes the ball out to Nowicki and just got the wrong kind of curl on it as we tick into nearly 2 minutes of stoppage time played here in the first half. Can the Lions muster up one last chance on goal? Samet clearly isn't interested, and neither is the referee. And so we'll blow for half-time here. Glenorchy Knights 2-1 ahead at the half. It's been early on Lions for certainly the first 15, 20 minutes, but you've got to say, Andrew, after the 20-minute mark, it's been pretty much all Knights here.
Yeah, deserved lead at the break. Matthew Nowicki has been involved in absolutely everything and it's been outstanding through 45 minutes. They take the lead 2-1 and you can't really argue with it. Kingborough in the worst enemy at times with getting into all sorts of problems, playing out from the back or carrying out from the back. They've coughed it up in dangerous positions and really done a lot of the Knights' work for them. Been a little bit patient in attack. They were gifted the chance to open the scoring from the penalty spot there. Owen Heggie with a wild swinging boot and Danny Cowan making no mistake. But from that moment on, really, after the Lions had started brightly, they get some reward there. After that, it really turned and it was all Knights. Declan Brown stroking home to make it 1-1. And that was a pretty quick response from Declan Brown. Slip at the back. Charged in behind and then again just a little casual at the back, inviting trouble. Nowicki picks the pocket and that was the miss, that's right.
We're not going to let him forget that.
That should have been 2-1. But he does get his goal in the end as we have a look. Declan Brown on the full match highlights, just the goal highlights, just switching up the routine on me there. Caught me out, Paul.
You've been done up a bit.
Settled into the goal highlights, but we'll leave you with the first half highlights package there, and we'll be back in about 10 minutes' time. You will see the second goal at some point. So,
ladies and gentlemen, just from the raffle, 2 boxes of wine, black ticket B24, black ticket B24.
I saw that this afternoon. That is the most glorious thing. Yeah. Someone's probably just hit like, how much money leave you? What did you ask? Trying to scold at 1 hour. Just imagine you're sitting in cargo like trying to scold for 1 hour. Just be like,
Ladies and gentlemen, just before we commence the restart, I'd like to thank our sponsors for this evening. From Millingtons for all your fuel needs. Fortunate enough to need them. Please think of Millingtons, 24-hour service, 6211 488, Chappell's Act, Boona, Bonnie, Cornelia Bay, Kingston, in the Fuelville, have a full monumental service available. Your hour of need and care. The Northgate Coffee Club, excellent service, great coffee, and welcome, relaxing surroundings. experience between Tony Bassick and Dallas Joyner. Please give Tony or Dallas a call. 0419 304 947, 0438 72 6032. Residential property land development project management. They have 35 years experience. Roberts Real Estate. Of course, wonderful wardrobes. Full installation of wardrobes, custom screens, wide range of products including wardrobes, internal doors, complementary furniture such as shelving units, freestanding drawers, bedside tables, home and office furniture, laundry cabinets. Showrooms in Cambridge, servicing the entire southern Tasmania. Give Tommy Dugasley a call. Happy to provide a free measure and competitive quote. Call 6248 4363. A major sponsor, Cougars. Established in 1876 at 21 Charles Street, Moona. Wide range of home appliances, dining, lounge, bedroom furniture, plenty of free parking at the back. Australia-made furniture on display in a huge showroom. Trusted international brand to be able to make the right choice. 21 Charles Street.
And we are back for the second half here at KG5 with the Glenorchy Knights holding sway over the Kingborough Lions by 2-1 at the halfway mark of this game. But the Lions showed early on in the first half that they can stick with them, they can cause a few problems as the game has worn on. The Knights have got on top though, and they definitely need to have changed things up a little bit or found a way to change the flow of the game in the second half, or you've got to think the Knights are going to stroll to the 3 points this evening. And this man, Matt Nowicki's been involved in everything and probably been the best player on the park so far, as this one's knocked along. Leaping at that one is Jade Clay, so he's still playing left wing there, Jade Clay, so looks like it's just been a like-for-like substitution, Heggie coming on for him. We thought maybe it might be a bit of a shift around the park. Hasn't been the case.
Yeah, I think he has played there in the past, Jade Clay. It's not quite his natural position, but it does seem familiar. And as you say, Nowicki, when you complete the Nowicki hat-trick in the first half, you know you've been in good form. There's now Cuthbertson, who's been one of the Lions' most likely outlets from set pieces so far. Down the line is Keenan Dowse. Shielded out of play by the Knights' defence. No changes to report at half-time by the looks of it from either side. It's down the line. Clay battling with Brennan. It's now Warren up to take the throw again. He'll nearly get it back, but it's Gutierrez trying to flick it past a wall of Knights players. Lovely footwork from the Magic Man, and Nowicki rolls his opposite marker, gets in front again. Naden was appealing for it on the far side, but it's now Clay. Goes in that direction. Stalker had to punch. Falls back to him, and it's shot. Blocked again. Nowicki covering good ground there. Now Tog Hill. Big up and under. Confidently dealt with by Smithy Sharples. Dowse turns Clay inside out. Finds Horatio Gutierrez. Cowan. Didn't quite get enough purchase on that flick. We'll go chasing after this one. Just about gets a good pass out, does Demi Nesta. Both sides keeping it pretty open in the second half, as we saw happen as the first half wore on. Cowan, it's the chest in. Steele. Downs, whacked clear. And now Naden. Easton had time to control it, but tried to find a teammate in Downs. Steele knocks it out to Samet. Time to put in a measured bowl, but measured that one a bit inaccurately.
Straight down the throat of Demi Nesta, who rolls it to Tyler Harrison. Nick Naden has been busy this evening. Knocks this one back to Tog Hill, outside of the boot. Screws one down the pitch there. It'll be a throw in the way of the Lions.
Everyone playing Where's Ken on this Friday night.
Kenny Morton just casting an eye over proceedings. Big game on Sunday, of course. South Hobart and Devonport will have that one live streamed your way as well, as Danny Cohen tries to get in behind of Tyler Harrison here. And just fouled the nice centre half there. The two captains yelling at it. But yeah, do join us on Sunday. That's going to be absolute corker of a game. Devonport 5 from 5. South Hobart have won their last 4, 1v2 on the table. And a big game in shaping the early goings of the title race there, that one.
Don't think they've had a dull match against each other the last 2 seasons. Have Devonport and South Hobart really been the sides consistently at the top of the NPL for the last few years. And one you immediately circle on your calendar once the fixture list comes out. I'm very much looking forward to Darcy Street on Sunday, as that one's heaved in the Brennan direction. Cleared by Warrener. Clay tries to lay in the return ball and does so. Thank you, Warrener striding forward, can't get past the defender.
Well done, Smithy Sharp stood up really strongly there.
Very well, as Brennan has it down the line. Clay covering for Warrener. Lovely turn there from Samuel James. And now Warrener's back to thump that one clear. And that'll be a confidence booster for the young centre half. Misplaced ball there from Brennan. Couldn't quite find Steele. Bellini's going to look for Nowicki with the chip over the top. Matthew Nowicki's in on goal here. Can he get the shot in? And it just hit a bit too far in advance. Heavy touch, and Stalker came out well.
He did the early work really well, Nowicki, and his final touch just let him down there. Not too far out in front of him. Looked like he was just going to slam through another goal there. As a chance for a cross here from Jade Clay. Plays it more centrally for James, keeping things ticking over in the midfield is the ever reliable Samuel James. And this one's going to fall in the direction of Danny Cowan. Cowan for Downs. Downs, I'm not sure what he was trying to do there, but I don't think that was it, as he scooted over the top and just been on the periphery of the game this evening. Chris Downs playing that wide left role. Just hasn't been able to get involved tonight. I'd like to see a little bit more from him, I think. Kingborough.
You do often see in world football of players who play centrally, really good with the ball, occasionally get thrown out on the left wing and aren't as effective. Paul Scholes is the example that comes to mind for England. For many years, a wasted talent out on the left wing for that 2002-2006 run. Bellini now plays a lovely through ball, cops a deflection. Brown will just about get to it, cops it, is it in the back, calls to get up from referee Nathan Coe, turns, trying to get on the right peg, but again, just beaten out. Now Steele. It's time to play in Brennan, but he's only got Cohen in front of him, so lays it back to his defence to build it up from the back. What are you thinking for those penalty shouts, Goulding?
Didn't have the greatest view of the penalty shout, to be honest, because I was looking straight down the back of the cameraman. But I'll have a look on replay and let you know. Certainly, Danny Cowan.
The intricacies of KG5 commentary.
Yeah, the ideal setup. But look, I'll tell you in a second when we have a look at the replay here. As a free kick's blown in favour of the Knights. So just took a lovely little cushion touch into his path, and he just ran straight at the back of him there, I'll tell you what.
Outside the box, though, but yeah, I'd probably give that as a free kick.
Really cleverly used to the body in the end there from Declan Brown, actually. I think he knew that Sam was going to run that line, and he just went, all right, I'll just make sure I angle myself here and draw the contact. But yeah, first a free kick just outside the box. But not to be. Sherman not happy with that decision. The Knights bench up in arms. And it's a sheepish Keenan Dowse who take the throw in. Right in front of Mr. Sherman down there. Goes along looking for Cowan. Warrener drifts across and nods into touch.
Sherman Tanks not put himself on the substitutes bench tonight. Disappointing. We do love a bit of player coach action. As that's a short pass. Easton as well to claim. Dowse. Back to Dominic Easton. Tried to thread the needle. Clay intercepts, but he's still got it. Trying to turn back into trouble. Good challenge from the two. Number 6 is going at each other. Falls to the wiki. Naden is in an absolute acre in the middle of the park. It's Nicholas Naden coming back to the defence. Naden on the left peg. Naden eventually. Penalty given. Well, he hesitated and hesitated. Naden didn't get the shot off, but eventually wins the penalty.
Yeah, Gutierrez Jr. made great ground initially. Slides in. And Nick Naden goes to ground. Wouldn't mind another look at that one. As Naden wins the spot kick there off Gutierrez. There's Declan Brown from the penalty spot to make this one 3-1. It's Declan Brown. And he finds the bottom corner and gives Knights the 2-goal cushion. A well-taken penalty. The keeper gets the right way, but he couldn't keep that one out.
Strongly hit penalty from Declan Brown. Stalker went the right way. And he's got a good frame on him. Stalker, pretty good penalty saver as Brown hesitated. I think he's just put that underneath the keeper, or he's not too far away, but Knights go in at 3-1 ahead. And yeah, at some point, having another look, that penalty would be interesting. It was Keenan Dowse. Plays it inside. Knights are just getting more pressure up the middle, and now Naden in on goal. Nicholas Naden, good save. Stalker Nowicki makes it 2 in 1 minute for the Knights. They are on a roll in this second half, and Nowicki gets his second.
Yeah, just taps home. Stalker made a great initial save on Naden, but on the doorstep there for Nowicki to profit. And he slams home his second. Naden just a surging run through the middle. And it's unlucky against Stalker. And then Nowicki all on his lonesome, and they have just blown this game wide open now. 4-1 lead, 2 early goals. And it's an absolute mountain for the Lions to climb now. Yeah, we've got some serious work to do if they're going to swing things from here. Knights taking their chances, making them pay. And the pace of Nick Naden bursting through there, winning the penalty, and then laying on the assist. His initial shot being saved, so he's really been the difference maker early in the second half as Naden.
It's good pressure up the middle from the Knights. Midfielders as well really caused that goal. They just tried to play a bit too cute, the Lions, and got to a situation similar to where they have it now and just couldn't spread it out wide. Let Naden run through the heart of the defence. Question marks will be raised at that as the Stork tries to play it out wide. And again, Naden, who seems to have found a new lease of life here in this second half. He's been absolutely everywhere as the Knights winger.
Just preying on these turnovers, feasting on them at the moment. Kingborough have got themselves into a mess on a number of occasions at the back, just coughing the ball up to Knights players, and I think all the Knights attackers are acutely aware that if they do sweat on these defenders, it may well be worth their while. Smithy Sharples back inside for Easton. Easton swings it out to Charles Samad, who just gets clipped there by Toghill. Free kick for Chris Downs, and they'll send Cuthbertson forward, who's been so dominant in the air tonight. Surely be the one he targets here.
Nice looping ball towards the back post. Wouldn't go astray here from Downs.
And this time Tyler Harrison's going to come into the mix as well to put some attention on Cuthbertson, who was going to box out by about 4 of them. Still nearly getting there. Cohen attacking the ball well. And there'll be a throw in for Joel Samet. He ticked towards the hour mark. This one perhaps over, with the Knights holding a 3-goal lead here. It's going to take something pretty remarkable to swing it from here. Danny Cowan flicks on. Cuthbertson in there. He nods on. Smithy Sharples waits the fall of this one away from him by Hardwick. Smithy Sharples just letting it run into touch, and Gutierrez Jr. Long throw, flicked on. Away by Tyler Harrison. Cushion first touch. Keenan Dowse. Couldn't quite combine with Gutierrez Jr. though. Bellini nods down, Nowicki, and he goes looking for Naden. Cut out by Easton, but showed too much of it for Naden. Well done, Steele. Naden does really well though, and then he's brought down, and that'll be a free kick. Maybe even a slice of cheese for Steele. As Nick Naden continues to cause absolute mayhem here amongst the Lions' defence.
The last 10 minutes has been the Nick Naden show. Steele did very well, but just left the trailing leg in there. It's been really noticeable was when the Lions were trying to attack down that right wing. It was 6v3 in the Knights' favour. They really are getting around the park a bit more here in this second half. The home side. James and Bellini over the dead ball. I'm curious to see what they end up with here. It's James with the low drive. Lions look to break quickly. Knights did keep about 4 players back though, so it's going to take some effort. And they hit the head of Lockie Hardwick straight away. Clay heaves that forward, but both Nowicki and Naden were offside. And Stork just about does enough. Unceremoniously shoved after passing that one was Salmon. Kingborough going to have to get the ball forward with a little bit more urgency than we've seen previously. And as soon as I say that, it's one rolled back to the keeper. Of course, Samet on the far side to Gutierrez. And now Steele. The new import has time to pick out a pass. Went towards the back post. Cleared by Harrison. Bellini caught in a Lion sandwich. Easton. And back to Smithy Sharples, and the Lions will look to restart. Good slide challenge from Brown. And still slightly under hit, but Cuthbertson is patient enough. Downs finally getting his foot on the ball. Spots the run of Brennan. And cleared by Warrener. Clay gets that one under very nicely. And again, heaved clear. Nowicki gets in front of Smithy Sharples. Runs inside Naden again on the far side if he wants him. Puts through Naden, Nicholas Naden, but it's crowded out from Joel Samet. Just came from the blind side. Did the new fullback. In the back, not given on Gutierrez.
The Nowicki and Naden show continuing an attack for Knights. They're really doing the damage here to the Lions. That could so easily have been 5. Here's Steele. Nice, sharp footwork from him. He showed a little bit too much of it to Samuel James. Cohen heads down, and it will spill into the path of Brown. Nowicki had just that very moment stepped back from an offside position, so I wasn't ready for it. Stalker to Cuthbertson. Now Joel Samet. Couldn't find Danny Cowan presenting up with it. Looks like Phil Kansos is set.
He's been waiting
into this one.
He's been waiting for about 3 minutes standing there as Phil Kansos. The ball has just not gone out.
Smithy Sharples wins that one away. Keenan Dowse gets on it. Opts it against the early ball and instead tries to take on Bellini. Does so successfully. Swings the cross in near post, but Dimi Nesta. So a fairly quiet night in the Knights. This evening hasn't been called into action, certainly to the degree he was last week, as Toghill punches this one looking for Nowicki, who I thought fouled Cuthbertson there, and the big store tumbling down by the big centre forward.
Man, Timmy Nesta. And finally we'll see that substitution for the Lions. Kansos coming on. You'd imagine it's a wing coming off. No, it's going to be Dominic Easton. So you'd probably think Gutierrez will drop into defensive mid. Downs will come in the centre and Kansos will go out wide.
And Chris Downs will be happy with that substitution.
Yep, I think that's exactly what Kansos has just pointed out to him. I'm surprised we can't see the beaming smile on Chris Downs' face from up here.
Yeah, probably 4-1 down. Be hard to get that out of him, I reckon. But yeah, he will certainly appreciate going back centrally has had a quiet game this evening, Chris Downs, for a player of his quality. And like to see him impact things a little bit from the middle, where he does so much of his good work. Gutierrez holding off the attentions of the magic man, Bellini. And dropped it back to Smithy Sharples. He just chips this one across to Cuthbertson. Joel Samet. And here's the substitute, Phil Council's first involvement. Away from him by Toghill. Working his way back into the top division tonight, Matthias Toghill on his return to the NPL TAS. This one's played back to Smithy Sharples. Jake Stewart being readied on the Knights bench. Smithy Sharples, that's a well-weighted ball for Samet. Joel Samet couldn't get past Toghill.
Just trying to think who'd be coming off for the Knights. They've all been pretty good in this second half form-wise, so this one will fall to Brown, who volleys it clear. And the Wiki running around as he always does. Late foul on Gutierrez, not given. Nowicki, Bellini, and Jay Clay. And he knocks it back to Toghill. He hasn't lost his first touch after a couple of years away there. There's Toghill.
He's had a good pre-season with the Dutchies to get that sharp.
Good futsal work there coming into the outdoor game. Sure, he's been in red-hot form.
Oh, he has. Formidable form, has Matthias Toghill, the futsal side of things this year. And it's no surprise he's earned the call-up to the Knights senior team off the back of it.
Probably sent a scout out, I think, and just said interested in coming back to outdoor, Togsy.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much exactly how it went down. No need to question that any further as Phil Kansos turns in, rolls it looking for Brennan, spills the way of Chris Downs. And for the first time all game, he had a little bit of room. And maybe with a rush of blood to the head, he's lashed that one well wide as Nowicki prepares to make way for Jake Stewart. And a very good 65 minutes from Matthew Nowicki this evening.
Very putting himself about, as always, Glenorchy Knights striker.
Substitute for Glenorchy Knights.
He'll eventually make way. Didn't want to come off too early. We don't want to see the most pedantic of red cards. He completes his hat-trick of goal, assist and yellow card.
2 goals in the end. A very good showing from Big Nowicki. Plus an R there, but look, he's had a fine game. Big Nowicki. Physical presence up top and one of his better games for the season this evening, in my estimation. This one will fall into the path of Nick Naden, who rolls it through, and here's the immediate dream start for Jake Stewart, denied by a stalker. Naden will butter up, and Naden puts it wide. And somehow goal number 5 eludes them. A couple of glorious chances. And great credit to Stalker there, who denies Stewart a goal with his first touch.
What an immediate impact that would have been from Jakey Stewart coming off the bench. Got it onto his right peg and it's straight out the chest of the keeper. Naden just couldn't wrap his foot around it. In the end, that's been what the second half has been like here tonight. Just gifting the ball over in the centre of the park and Knights pouncing immediately. And we'll see if the Lions can add something through the pacey play of Phil Kansos, trying to get round the outside, cuts it back towards Cohen. Cohen lays it off, good dummy, shoot, Nesta saves. Well, he hasn't had a lot to do tonight. That was Demi Nesta, but he's come up strong there with, I think it was Gutierrez coming in.
I think Gutierrez might have done the hamstring in the process of hitting that shot too. He is hobbled back, although he's moving all right now in midfield, so maybe just nothing that significant. Still looking a little bit proppy, but best chance they've had in open play all evening. Jake Stewart's offside here before he can race in on goal. He's a lively introduction to this game, but that was a really well-worked move, starting with Kansos out wide. Nice flowing stuff from the Lions. Top play they've been trying to execute for most of the evening, but haven't been able to do so. Phil Kansos with a nice little introduction there. Here's Keenan Dowse. Downs already getting more involved. This one's lofted forward for Cohen to chase, away from him by Warrener. Steele clamping down on that one and goes across to Douse. First time cross will try and pick out Kansos. It was overhit though. Makes him work back for it. He's got Salmon in support. And Toghill did pretty well to win that one and win the throw too. So really well done by Matthias Toghill.
Really well on the far side. Kansos just injecting a bit more pace into the Lions outfit. Also still the clear winger in Kingborough Lions salad contest. He's always a favourite up here on Salad Watch. And Steele knocks it back to Samet. James. He trying to leave that one for Stewart to run onto. Knocks it out of play. It'll be Samet. We'll be finding the head of Toghill. James, who's put in a mountain of work tonight. Does so again, charging that one down. The spin might elude Keenan Douse, and I think he's given away the throw in there, and he has. Good work there from Jay Clay. And Lukey Warren up. Leaves it down the line. Good header by Stewart. Again, a foul. And I tell you what, I think he wants an early bath here. Does Gutierrez. And he's limping. I don't know if he wants to get sent off or subbed here. The reaction afterwards. I think he thought he'd just hit the accumulation there. I thought he was walking off.
Yeah, slightly exaggerated fall there as Jay Clay storms into the box. Jay Clay cuts it back. Great chance here for Brown, and he skies that one over the shed. Got under that one. Something shocking. The Night Star is Tom McDonald is set to be introduced here. It looks like it will be the end of Gutierrez's evening. He's hobbling off here. He pulled up very proppy after he hit that shot that Nesta saved and has not looked right ever since.
It's been a great last couple of minutes. The American import. He'll walk straight to the bench. Will Gutierrez. Now Lions can take their goal kick. They've got a bit eager there before. Downs. Dropping back to receive the ball. Good intent here from Cuthbertson. Sells Naden the dummy before laying it out to Samet. Thought about playing in Kansos. Went for Cohen. Cleared by the Knights. Good touch from Steele. Can only find Toghill. American will get it back. Jill Samet finds Chris Downs. Steele looks up, sees Cohen and Brennan in front of him. Finds Brennan, tries to play the return ball. Grounded out by Knights, and Stewart's on the march here in a foot race with Smithy Sharples. Stewart tries to sell the step over. Good slide challenge in the end there from the centre back, and keeps it in as well. Exceptionally well. And Smithy Sharples. Samet. Only finds Warrener. Good cushion header, but falls out to Bellini. Clay. Bellini tried to get the return ball. McDonald covers well. And again, Lions just not able to play it out effectively through the midfield here at the moment. It's Naden. Thought Stewart was still where he was, but he dropped back more centrally, and that'll fall into the grateful arms of Mitch Stalker.
Inside the final 20 minutes now. Hopes of a Lions come back. Pretty distant at this point. The Knights with this one well within their keeping. We just want to see this one out. Jake Stewart looking quite busy since coming on. Obviously keen to get amongst the goals. The athletic player in attack. He's working his socks off up there. Certainly did at Clarence. And when he was leading the line there, didn't often get the service, but he just knew. And he'd toil away and quite often just made things happen by harrying and pressuring defenders, as Nick Naden's been absolutely outstanding this half, and he's played in again, and he punches this one across the face. Well, the man who started his season with 4 goals against Riverside. Was just perhaps caught slightly in 2 minds.
Yeah, I think he wanted Stewart a little more advanced just to roll it across the top of the 6-yard box to him as we have the magic man, Alessandro Bellini, down at the moment. He's already taken a shin pad off, so somehow he's seems like it might be a little more serious injury than hoped, wobbling back to his feet. And it is Aaron Marnie preparing to come on in his replacement. Putting in a good shift here tonight has Bellini. Really solidified that spot in centre midfield. I don't think it's probably a little precautionary, I think, that sub.
I think he has been injured recently too, Bellini, so he's looking on the bench. Gesturing at the calf there by the looks of it, Bellini. So they'll hope that's nothing that's going to keep him out long term, but initial signs not great for next week, I wouldn't have thought.
Really got a mounting injury list, have the Knights. Obviously, Thomas Bellini on it as well. Callum Brown still a little way away.
Cuthbertson tracking this one. I think I saw the Salad running around in the Challenge League before this, so he shouldn't be too far away. There's Kansos. Looks up. Drives past one. Heavy touch there as he followed up, but he's added something since coming on field, Kansos, but I'm not sure there's too many out there in Y to believe they can come back and win this.
No, it's not impossible, though.
No, it's not impossible. I'm just not seeing the signs out there from a team that looks like they think they can score 3.
I was just going to say, at least in the was it Denmark-Sweden game in Euros last week, at least when they came back from 3 down with about 6 minutes to go, there was a bit more belief building up into that point, whereas I'm not quite seeing that early belief.
They need one just to spark something, a bit of a fire starter, as this one's allowed to run by Hardwick there, or Clay rather. Sees it out of play. Yeah, 15 minutes to go. Yeah, this one you can just about put in the book. Rookie Knights can get back on the winners list here. They push for a top 4 finish this season.
We see, as well as that game on Sunday, 2 interesting games up north on Saturday. Olympia, Riverside.
Yeah.
Nah.
Olympia heading to Launceston City. Got the Zebras going to Riverside, because I'll be heading along to that one myself.
Oh, nice.
Trip up to Windsor, have a bit of a look there. So, yeah, 2 South v North games tomorrow. And as we mentioned on Sunday, a live stream of the Strikers and South Hobart game, 1v2. It's going to be huge and interesting weekend, this one, of NPL TAS. And certainly think Olympia, sitting in 3rd, will be thinking, well, 2 teams above us playing each other. There's a chance to make some ground, but Launceston City have probably the 2 best performances in the past 2 weeks. They're starting to grow into this season nicely. It'll be an interesting one, as this is lovely build up here from Jakey Brennan, scything through the defence. In the end, just shows too much of it. And Toghill able to steer it away. A good run this from Brennan. Played a nice little 1-2 with his skipper. In the end, just a heavy touch, just take it around Harrison. Brennan back to Downs. Doesn't really give his attacker much of a chance there. Yeah, and the other game, of course, tomorrow, Hobart Zebras heading to Riverside after they were shocked by Launceston City last week, right at the death there. No Amies, they'll look to bounce back, and Riverside too. They'll be disappointed with last week against Olympia. They're a better side than what they showed in that one, so they'll certainly be keen to get back at Windsor Park on the home deck and try and spring a little surprise on the Zebras there.
Yeah, be very curious to see how Lonnie City go. They've really come on the last couple of weeks, particularly impressive last week, as we'll see Kingborough make their final substitution. Jake Brennan coming off. And Joel Scutt coming on.
Substitution for Kingborough.
So it looks like he'll move into the middle of the defence, and Smithy Sharples is shifted out to the right, and he takes this throw in. McDonald, away from him. Last time he was in the NPL, Tom McDonald scored what was for me the goal of the year But the camera really stitching him up and failing at that exact moment, if I recall. So his hopes weren't done a whole lot of good when I think he found a mobile phone footage of it, which didn't quite look quite as nice. Probably cost him the goal of the year, I reckon, because I reckon that was the best goal of the season, that one he struck.
What year was that?
I think it was 2016 or 2017.
I'm going to say it's one that's never crossed my
2016, I think
my path.
The camera just dying. I think it was 2016.
Well, good to know Tom McDonald's the original Tyler Fisher in that department then, clearly, as Jakey Stewart wins that one, tries to play through Aaron Marnie. Knocks it back to Clay, now James. Looking towards Stewart, good first touch. Back to Clay. Looks to go towards the far post. Marnie with the little chip delivery. Cleared in the end. He really wants the corner here, does Azza, but keeps it in. Left foot cross. Can't quite find a teammate. Here's now Tom McDonald looking to play in Cohen. Hardwick cleans that one up. Cohen's still running and eventually gets there. Does the captain. Kansos now plays in Cohen. Lovely ball out to McDonald. Will he get the return? Goes near post. Eventually Naden clearing, but that is exactly what you want in your centre forward and captain there from Danny Cohen.
That passage of play right there is why he's the captain of this team. 4-1 down, 10 minutes to go. He is still absolutely charging after everything and wins the ball back for his side too. That was fantastic stuff from Cohen. The game all but gone. It'd be easy to give up the ghost as McDonald crosses near post. Harrison away from Kansos, but he's still leading by example, charging around after everything. Fair play to Danny Cohen there. That's great stuff. But unfortunately, looks like he's going to be on the losing end of tonight's game. Unless they can find something here, and what would be a miraculous fight back. Swings it to the back post. Cohen won't be able to track that one down. And with 10 minutes left to play, the Knights sitting very comfortably here at KG5 indeed.
Yeah, they're starting to absorb a little more pressure than previous rest of the half are the Knights, but as you can tell from Timmy Nestor's enthusiasm to go and get this goal kick, the game is pretty much sewn up. Some Lions players trying to G themselves on, get up for the last 10 minutes. But the Knights happy just to control the tempo. Naden dropping back about the furthest he's dropped back all game. Harrison down the line towards Stewart. Chest control from Jakey Stewart. The two subs going at it. He's kept the ball in. Jakey Stewart. He's still going, Stewart, and nearly finds Jay Clay. It's now Marnie. Tries to go near post, but lung-busting run there from Jakey Stewart. Went the long way around Joel Scott and just about got there.
It's a great little run, kept it in on the byline. Powerful stuff. He's such an explosive player, Stewart, and he's got him behind the lines a few times since coming on. Naden just trying to win a throw here. Eventually will do so off of Danny Cowan. Naden just seems to have shifted slightly further back here as Stewart again the target. Away from him, fell to Marnie, rolled it through to Stewart. He's got Clay at the back post. Heads in that direction. He cuts it back. Marnie in there, but Big Steele got in ahead of him. Dowse up against Warriner. Keenan Dowse to the outside of the boot. Couldn't pick out Danny Cowan. James. And Marnie trying to turn Samet. Knew what he was up to. Wasn't going to let him do that. And Kansos gets in there and wins it back. Phil Kansos. Good little cameo from him since coming on just past the hour mark. He's added plenty. Cowan again done absolutely no favours. If he was a restaurant reviewer, he would not be giving 5 stars on the service this evening.
Yeah, he'd be giving a lot of 1s and 2s, I think. Danny Cowan, he's made the most of it as Stewart's trying to wrestle there, but gives away the foul. Now, the Lions looking for a consolation here this evening. Only ball inside to McDonald. Downs So as soon as he moved into the centre of the park, it was looking lively, but again, the game's just been beyond lines as Keenan Dowse goes for a run, tries to play in Cansos in the end. Now Tyler Harrison, the centre-back, on the charge, gets past Steele. There's a lovely ball in the Clay direction. The clearance couldn't get past him. Jade Clay coming across. Can he keep it in? I don't think he has. I think that is a corner kick, and it is. Again, the Knights looking lively. Getting the deflection of Smithy Sharples. Just had too heavy a touch in the end.
No real rush to take this corner. As you can tell by the complete absence of anyone to hit it. Samuel James will eventually stroll over, but just waiting for the full-time whistle here, I think. The Glenorchy Knights. Down there in front of the stats band, just chilling on the corner.
Well, I thought he was about to come on and take the corner there for a minute. He was certainly the closest for a while.
Now Samuel James doing his shoelaces up, so taking their sweet time here are the Knights. The game well and truly won at this point. Can they add a fifth? He swings it in to the middle, away by Stalker. Clay, back in but repelled by Samet. Now Toghill pins it to the top of the box. Cuthbertson on hand to steer it away. Off the back of the head there of Clay, who tries to track it down, does so successfully, and skips past one and swings in across looking for Declan Brown, away by Chris Downs. Keenan Dowse gets there first, and then knock back to the Messiah looking Chris Downs there. That flowing hair setup he's got going.
Him and Naden were standing next to each other there for a while, like they were just pointing to each other as who's the best Jesus impersonator. As we'll see Marnie collect this one. On the left peg, Marnie shooting. That's about the best left foot shot I've seen Marnie hit in my entire life, but it still goes straight at the keeper.
Not known for his left, you're saying, Paul?
No, not quite known for his left foot prowess in Narromine. Still better than mine, but not his strongest suit. As McDonald gets in front of Naden on that one.
More known for skipping past players, I think, Aaron Marnie.
Yeah, namely me in training for about 4 years, as we'll see the Knights win the throw-in.
A fair bit of room on the other wing now if they do opt to play a little switching ball at some point here. Warren up with the throw-in, went looking for Stewart. Steele's touch, the ball in dispute, and allowed Declan Brown to get in there. The ball now will be worked out to Marnie on the right wing. Slides that one for Declan Brown. Has some good support from Toghill. Plays the early cross. And the bicycle straight down the keeper's throat. Jakey Stewart unleashing the spectacular. And it was on target, but just not quite either side of the keeper. But, geez, the technique, outstanding.
Might as well try it when you're 4-0 up there, Jakey Stewart. As Stalker hits a wonderful ball to Cohen, who apparently committed the foul there. Controlled that one well and probably would have smashed the volley there, I reckon. But speaking of volleys, this bicycle attempt from Jake Stewart comes on the deflection, and you know what? That would have been some goal if he found the corner from Stewart. Similar to Braden Manns last year against South Hobart. Just going against the grain. As we've got 3.5 minutes left here. Brown exchanging passes in Lockie Hardwick. He's done fairly well in defence tonight, coming in for first Young and then Georgie Hallard, who's on a suspension. Toghill slides in and then gets a little bit too much afters on the Lions player. Going to receive some cheese action for that one. Is Toghill on his return to the NPL TAS.
Thought he won the ball with that one, to be honest, Toghill. We'll have to...
I think it was for the afters.
Yep.
So we'll have another look. Does certainly get the ball. I
suppose contact straight back of his head or something. Arm to the face.
Something like that.
Anyway, a slice of cheese for Toghill on his return. Down swings this one in. Dangerous looking ball. Well dealt with in the end. James first to it, toes it up towards Stewart. Clever little header to Harrison, who just knocks it out in front of Marnie. Just had to wait for it a little. Now he steers it towards Stewart, one-on-one with Samet. And he did pretty well there, the former Olympia Warriors defender. Recovered the situation nicely, worked it back to Scut. Scut coughs it up to Declan Brown. Final 2 minutes of action here in Friday night football. Naden sold very short there by that ball from Warriner. Hardwick. Harrison. Now Brown. Touch took him right into the path of Kantzos. Toghill. And Scut stepping in.
Big thanks to Joel Scut for pointing out we've been butchering his name for 2 years a little while ago as well.
Yeah, much appreciated. Keenan Dowse looking to grab a consolation goal at the end here. He's got the better of his fullback, and then the cross is behind from Lockie Hardwick. Yeah, much appreciated. Any players out there, if we are absolutely making a meal of your name, please do let us know.
Especially when it's for as long a period of time as that one, which has been years and years.
I would have looked at that name for a while and not got Scut out of it.
When you sent it to me, I was equally as surprised, but I'll take their word for it over mine. I'm no linguistics expert.
So here's Steele, fairly confident in the pronunciation of that one as the American swings this one in towards Danny Cowan, attacked it. Tyler Harrison did nicely in defence though. As the two captains again duke it out in the air. Jake Stewart brings it to a stop, then just tried to slide it past Downs. Trying to beat his man, couldn't do so. Stewart plays it for Naden. And he'll be comfortably dealt with at the back here for the Lions. Cuthbertson. Full ball from him. Straight to Aaron Marnie. Throws in a step over, tried a second one, then ran to a brick wall that was Cuthbertson, who wasn't biting. Tried to sell him a couple of times and he wasn't having it. Steele. Keenan Dowse. Lions pushing hard for a late consolation goal here. Danny Cowan couldn't quite make that contact he was after. And one of their better chances for the evening in the end, but comes to nothing.
Into good areas still in the 90th minute. Here's Cowan. That's a very under-hit pass that falls to Samet. Cowan in again. Joel Samet inside to Steele. Now Dowse, who's pushed on since the last substitution. Still going. Here's Keenan Dowse. Stewart up against Cuthbertson. Stalker composed in his control. Cuthbertson trying to corral one last chance out of the Knights. Clay nearly gets in front of Smithy Sharples. Brown does. Naden Stewart wants it in between, but was beaten out to it by the pace of the ball. Stalker over the head of Cowan. Keenan Dowse trying to run in behind. Cowan with Hardwick for company as it has been all night. Still in play. Jimmy Nestor goes flying over the top of the Lions attacker there. I admit it, had to pull him away there slightly.
He's trying to...
Did not see a Lions player coming in at all there.
I don't think he really did too much here. I think Nestor just kind of jumped over the top of him. Yeah, lands on the back somewhat awkwardly. No harm done though, I think, as Nestor back to his feet now and a bit proppy, but certainly been a much quieter evening for him than 7 days ago when he was absolutely shelled and only conceded 3. He and Lockie Clark, two of the best goalkeeping performances I've seen all year last weekend. They were fantastic, the pair of them.
Don't think he'll be quite making the team of the week this week, Jimmy Nestor, I doubt it, just due to lack of work.
Yeah, don't think it's been called upon too often tonight. Jimmy Nestor, the Knights' defence, done a pretty good job in front of him, and really since they went 1-0 down, really they've wrested control of this game. Done it fairly comfortably for the most part. The Lions looking to pull it back to 4-2 late though through Kantzos. Get in behind of Toghill. Across comes Harrison. Just uses his body, leans in, and then wins the free kick. And that might just about be all we have here this evening. So we tick to 93 minutes.
I like doing that in your own corner flag as well. You usually see that up the far end, but certainly knew he had the experience there as Harrison, surely when heaving this, the final whistle will blow.
Perhaps not. We play on as the Lions through Downs to Douse. Now McDonald. Nick Naden dispossessing him and Declan Brown. They'd love to have Callum Brown out there along with Declan. That'd be a real handful when they get both the Brown boys out there. Scut scoring that one out of play. Final whistle surely imminent now here at KG5. And it's going to be a good win for the Knights. 3 important points for them. And they get back on track with a 4-1 victory. The Knights, they bounce back after last week's even. It's been a long night. Last week's defeat to South Hobart. A pretty comprehensive win from them this evening. They'll take the 3 points and that will jump them up temporarily at least into 4th place on the table. The Zebras will have their say on that when they play Riverside tomorrow. The other action, Olympia against Launceston City at Buckby Park at 4:30. And then on Sunday, we'll be back with the live stream of South Hobart and Devonport from 2 o'clock. But just before we leave here tonight, a final word on tonight's game, Paul?
Yeah, pretty much run as expected, you would say. Knights coming in as slight favourites, and after that early scare with that penalty, it really had been one-way traffic for another 75 minutes. Thought special mention, Samuel James did a really good job in defensive midfield, always buzzing around, but I do think you would award a man of the match. I'm going to say Matt Nowicki's effort in that 70 minutes was pretty exceptional, as we see him on screen there. Already track-suited and ready to go for the Lions. Still some work to do, still blooding plenty of new players, seeing Samet and Steele for the first time, plenty to work on, but I think Knights will come away pretty happy here, and we'll await results around the rest of the league.
Yeah, it should be an entertaining weekend. That's all we've got for you tonight, though, from KG5. The Glenorchy Knights back on track with a 4-1 victory over the Kingborough Lions. They take the points to jump up into 4th. From us here at the Slice of Cheese commentary team and the Buy On Stream team, it's a very good night, and we'll be back with you on Sunday. Make some contact if you want to make that montage. He's not really made enough. Anyway, Danny Cowan steps up, sends the keeper the wrong way, drives it home, and the Kingborough Lions take the lead. An error at the back, giving Danny Cowan.
Of Brown, he's in, he's got Stalker to beat. Brown rounds the keeper. Brown slides it home on a blistering counter-attack for the Glenorchy Knights, and it's 1-0 very quickly.
Credit to Matthew Nowicki.
Delaney tries to play in Nowicki and does over the head of the stalk. It's Matt Nowicki on goal. Nowicki slides it under the keeper, and from one end to the other again, the Knights have got 2-1 up.
Yeah, just misjudged a bit there, I think, in the...